Hi, I'm Bonnie Kimke. Welcome to my studio and welcome to Quilting on a Thread. Today I want to go over a couple of the really neat features of the Grace's latest machine, the Little Rebel. Now, part of the neat features about this machine are that it's both a straight stitch sewing machine and a true full-on quilting machine. There's just a few things you need to do to transfer from sewing to quilting. Today I'm primarily going to discuss taking the machine from its sewing state to its quilting state. And to do that, there's a couple of things we need to have on hand. And so let's just go into those items. What we need to have is the Little Rebel foot storage container, and inside the container you'll see that there's the sewing arm is missing. It's on, the sewing post is on the machine, and one of the sewing feet, the presser feet, is on the machine. We're going to be removing those two and replacing that with the hopping foot. This is just a generic hopping foot. So of course we need the proper feet, but we also will need the magnetic quilting needle plate. We don't remove the standard needle plate, we cover it with the quilting needle plate. And on the back of the quilting needle plate there are some very powerful magnets, and there are two raised circular posts. They're very, very shallow, but they're raised, and they go into indentations on the standard needle plate. The other things that you'll need is, of course, the hopping foot height tool and the straight screw driver that comes with your machine. In addition to that, I like to have a small swatch of cloth to protect my needle plate while I'm doing the processes, and if in case I need to remove the magnetic needle plate, I found that it helps to have a plastic tool like the Purple Fang to get up under there and remove the needle plate, because I don't want to break my fingernails. Just that simple. So to go ahead and allow you to be able to see this, I've already removed my bobbin, and the reason I removed the bobbin is to make sure that the thread is not in the needle plate. One of the first things to keep in mind is anytime you're making mechanical modifications to your machine, you want to be sure that the power is off. So you'll notice we do have a presser foot and the needle arm in place, and that's attached with this little screw over here. So the first thing I want to do is go ahead and remove the presser foot. It just makes it easier. And then I'll come in here with a screwdriver and I'll just loosen that screw, and I have to remove the screw all of the way. So the neat thing about this sewing arm, sewing leg, whatever you want to call it, is the hole is exactly where it needs to be, and the hole on the bar that holds it where it needs to be. So sewing is a fixed setup. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in its case and bring out the hopping foot. Keep in mind you had to keep that screw right here. You're going to need it. Let's go ahead and put the quilting needle plate in place. And you're going to drop it on there. The magnets are going to catch. You just want to pull it and push it until it sets in and it's in both of those holes. So once it's set in place, it's not movable. Now this is where I come in and put a little bit of material to protect it. And then I bring my hopping foot over. Now, it's a good thing at this point to go ahead and drop your presser bar. Once you do that, keep in mind that while you're quilting, you will not adjust the presser bar. You won't be raising that lever in the back, because the hopping foot is going to do all of that on its own. So normally when I put this in, I go ahead and raise the hopping foot up as high as I can, because it's easier to control the screw if you're not trying to fight with the hopping foot itself. So once you get the screw in, you want to kind of put it down to where it's close but not tight, because you want that hopping foot to be able to move. Tighten it up just a little bit, and then lower your needle. And you want to lower the needle as far as it'll go, because that's dropping the presser foot, the hopping foot down. And now you get your hopping foot height tool and just put that in between the hopping foot and the material. Loosen the hopping foot now and just let it drop onto the hopping foot height gauge. The height gauge should slide easily in and out. And that's why I like the cloth there, so you're not unintentionally scratching your your needle plate. So now that that's about where you want it, go ahead and take that little screwdriver and give it a twist to keep it tight. Now you can raise your needle, and you want to have enough thread in here, because now we're going to put the bobbin back in place. And because I've heard people say they have problems with the bobbin, I'm going to go ahead and relocate you so that you can see how you put the bobbin in. So here we are, and you can see the bobbin area. And normally when the machine is on, there's a light under there, but we don't have that light, so we're just going to use a flashlight. And I'm going to see if I can rest the flashlight here. There we go. So now we have it illuminated. So one of the things to keep in mind is that your bobbin, when it's threaded properly, if you have that divot to the top, and if you pull the thread, you should be moving clockwise. So now we're going to turn this around, and we still have the divot up. When we pull that lever on the bobbin out, it helps to hold the bobbin in place. And you find the little rod that you're going to mount the bobbin on, and you push in, and that lever should be level. And then you just want to make sure that you heard that click. So it doesn't fit in there tight. It just fits in, and it's nice and comfortable. So let me go ahead and relocate everything again, and we'll get on with the little exploration. So here we are on the side. I'm moving it around because I want to make sure you get the best view. We're going to power it on because you're going to see something very different than you've seen before on your machine, and that's this button here. Once the machine came on, this Q light lit up. When the Q light is on, the laser stitch regulator is in operation. If you want to turn that off and go manual, you press that. But did you notice also the light switch? Let's put it back on. When the light is on, the stitch regulator is on, and also the stitch length is being determined by the regulator. When you turn that off, the stitch regulator is no longer functioning, you're manual, and now the speed is on. But your stitch length is reconciled by how fast you're moving the machine. For those who stitch manually, that's a real cool tool. Most of us, the reason we bought the Rebel is to have onboard stitch regulation. Now, the other cool thing that you did when you set this up on the frame, and I didn't go over that, and I should have, is you set up the start button. You plugged in this start button where your foot pedal used to be. This is a very, very compact little tool. And it's right here at your thumb. So now, since we're set up to quilt, why don't I bring you over and show you. So I'm going to pull my thread up above the quilt body by dropping the needle and raising the needle back up. That's going to pull that bottom bobbin thread up. And I have some threads here. Don't worry, this is just a practice piece. But now I'm going to start stitching, and literally I press that button. In all reality, switching this around and setting it up takes 5 minutes, if that long. So that's been my little tour of the quilting features of the Little Rebel. I hope that that's helped you on your journey. Maybe you've just been interested in the Little Rebel. Perhaps you're waiting for yours to come in, or you have yours and you've just been a little cautious to go ahead and try to attempt the switch. It's very simple. It's very fun. This is a really fun little machine to use, and I'm happy that I've gotten one. So that will be it for today, and I hope to see you again here on Quilting on a Thread. Bye-bye now.